The school, along with other secondary schools in the region, had been operating temporarily at the government secondary school in Damaturu since 2012. Now, Suleiman Tamali, the newly appointed principal of the school, expressed his intention to work closely with the local government to improve the standard of education at the school. And he visited the Gulani Local Government Council chairman, Dayabu Njibuwa, to seek a partnership for the development of the school. And the chairman, Njibuwa, highlighted that the reopening of the school signifies a major improvement in the security situation in the area and the state overall. He also expressed his support for the principal to ensure the success of the school's operations. This is not to say we have not been getting reports of insurgency in the north, but it seems from the media it's not as much as it used to be when we used to take these stories. And these are the reports from some people. And then you hear from the Yobe state government saying that insurgency in that area has been reduced.
Yes. Why I say it has been reduced, or if they say it has been reduced, I agree with them. Why I will agree with them is that these people are opening up different frontiers. And that's why the fight against terrorism is not a one-day fight. It's not a one-off thing. These people, you don't even know where they are coming from. You don't know their mode of operation. They don't have a special uniform. And the way they attack in a very clandestine way, if you fight them from this axis, they move to the next axis. So I believe that what happened in Yobe State, they have fought them to a standstill. And these are people now looking for other escape routes where they will attack from. So if the school is reopening, it shows that Yobe State is safe. The local government is safe, but it's quite absurd, appalling that a school will be shut down for 12 years till today they are reopening. Something must have happened to the rural and aggregate economy of that area. The children in school, the pains they must have taken to attend school in other area. So, and also most of the facilities there must have been dilapidated, they must have been looted. So they are starting a brand new school, and I believe that all these things should be in place. But most importantly, they should also beef up security around that area. But so to say, or nevertheless, they have fought security to a standstill in Yobe State. We no longer hear, yes, insurgency in Yobe to a standstill. We no longer hear of sad tales coming from Yobe State. Now it has extended to other areas, but they still need to maintain the security around them.
How can we really get it right with security in Nigeria?
Like I always say, security is something that starts with intelligence gathering. Once you do proper intelligence gathering, you equip, you train your manpower.
Are we not doing all that? From reports, we always hear the security agencies telling us about intelligence gathering. Some of the operations you hear, due to intelligence gathering, we were able to find out this and that. We got this information. What else did you mention?
Equipping and training. And
do we not have all these?
And apart from training, you also retrain. Whether you like it or not, terror or the fight against terrorism is something that it evolves every day. They're coming with new trends, they're coming with new evolution. So the army or the military, they also need to be up to speed to also embrace the challenges.
So when you say equipping now, what exactly do you think our problem is with that?
You know, most of these insurgents, the kind of weapons at their disposal and the ones at the disposal of the Nigerian army, there's huge disparity. There is huge disparity because these people, the kind of weapons they brandish, like most of the soldiers that we've been able to interface, they say the kind of weapons these people carry, they don't even have them at their disposal.
And sometimes when you see these boys carrying these weapons, you wonder how they got it. Because sometimes these are just teenagers, children involved in this. Have you seen pictures and videos of them?
I've seen.
Yes, you'd see their ages and you see what they are handling and you see their states. And you wonder how they got all these weapons that they're using to carry out the crime.
You know, most of our neighbors, they are having one form of crisis or the other. Then this Islamization or this ISIS and their various cells, the Al-Qaeda, they have found their way into West Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. So most of these weapons are at their disposal. So that's how these things are able to come into Nigeria or even get to them. And because of the porous nature of our borders, they can also come in, perpetrate their acts, and go back to their bases.
But you know, normally when we hear cases of insurgency, insecurity in neighboring countries, it is only normal that, you know, the government will begin to put in measures to make sure that we don't get that in our own country. We don't have that coming into our own country, because we have our own cases of insecurity that we're dealing with. So hearing that these people who have been operating in other countries are now coming into Nigeria because of porous borders, you wonder what the interest really is when we talk about securing the lives and properties of the people of the nation.
For me, security of lives and property, it's a continuous fight. It's a continuous process. It's not a one-off thing. It's not something that ends one day. And it must be all-encompassing. Security is everybody's business. First, when you notice any strange face within your environment, you need to escalate. Well, because of the palpable fear, most of these people are living under.
And the weapons that these people come with.
Coupled with the internal collaborators they also have, which might also give them information. So as they are coming, they know where they are going to strike. But if security, which is supposed to be everybody's business, you notice, and there must be that secrecy. If I give you an information as a military person, you shouldn't divulge it to where your source of information. But you discover that these days people are even afraid of giving out information because of a reprisal attack.
Oh, wait, I'm still hinged on this border of a thing. To the fact that we're saying that they came in through our borders, and then the report you're giving on some parts of the border being open, just the entrance, you just see a gate there, and you see some people manning it. And one would wonder if that's the same way it is when you're entering into other countries. You enter, we know the strict measures. Some Nigerians usually complain when they're traveling to other countries and it's a problem. Sometimes when they say they are Nigerians, you know what they experience. Even the people who go illegally, you know, these people who go through the sea and all of that, you still find out that there's very strict measures in some of these places before they can go in. So why would we be talking about borders being porous and being open for anybody to come in?
There must be adequate border patrol. For borders to be in place, because they are not fenced, then there should be proper patrol along that line. And if there's no proper patrol, it becomes very porous. No camera to know who goes in and who comes out. And for crying out loud, these are things that in saner climes, they've gone beyond it. Because they have proper and effective border patrol. They also have cameras to check the influx. And in that case, it will be easier. But here now, border patrol, I don't think we've done enough in terms of border patrol. In terms of security cameras, I don't think we have been able to do it. Otherwise, there's supposed to be kind of border patrol. So you know the situation on ground and also tackle it. And I believe that if there's effective border patrol, these insurgencies, they cannot, it will never thrive because they will meet resistance at every point. But because they're always having a field day when they are coming, so it has become something that is used to them.
Okay, so when we talk about security being everybody's business, we know that. You also mentioned it. But is this a case of security being everybody's business? These are terrorists who are coming with sophisticated weapons, humiliating and terrorizing the people. So what role would you say the people have to play in securing their lives and their properties in this scenario?
First, the government needs to build that confidence in the people. What I say they need to is when the government fights them to a standstill, the people know that once they notice any strange face, they can escalate and report. But this one, if you report, nothing will be done. So it's better to even keep quiet for them. But if these people are meeting stiff resistance, where they fight them to a standstill, the confidence will be restored in the people. And then they can start giving out information. They can also give out information of their internal collaborators.
Do you think the local vigilante will have any role to play here?
First, of course, local vigilante has a very great role to play.
What kind of weapons do local vigilantes have?
Local vigilantes, for me, they are not even supposed to be too armed. What they are supposed to is to gather information.
So, okay.
gather information and disseminate the information to the right and relevant authority to act on such information.
Because putting local vigilante on ground now, and you see what the weapons people are coming in. Even our security agencies, like you said, are saying their weapons are sometimes more sophisticated.
Putting local vigilantes at this point, when the government has not risen up to its challenges, is putting the lives of such vigilante members at risk. Because they don't have what it takes in terms of weapon to stand these people.
So they don't have a role to play here. That means
the only role they have to play is they will be part of the intelligence gathering team. So that as soon as they notice any strange move, they escalate.
So we always hear talks about, in fact, some traditional rulers would say there is no how strange things will be happening in their environment and they will not be aware. In their community and they will not be aware. It's not possible.
No, most of these traditional rulers, they are also living under siege, at the mercy of these people. So it's something that has developed into a kind of hydra-headed situation. It's more like a cancer. And the only way for you to take care of cancer, you must go through the knife, go through the surgery. So for me, it's something that must be at top of. First, the government needs to live up to its challenges.
Responsibilities?
Yeah, they need to live up to its responsibility. They need to take challenges and live up to responsibilities.
All right. And you also do not agree that local vigilantes have some sort of weapons?
Local vigilantes, they are not even permitted to carry weapons of such magnitude. If you give them weapons of such magnitude, it has some devastating and boomeranging effects.
Right, because this takes our mind back to the agro rangers that the president talked about earlier that are being released to certain farms to stop the cases of farmer-herders clash. It's more than farmers-herders clash. It's more like people dying almost, regularly because of their fights with farmers, that's between farmers and herders. So these agro rangers now, since we're talking about insecurity, we're talking about the north, these are also some of the cases that we hear of insecurity in the north.
For me, the only thing that will solve the crisis between the farmers and the herders are establishment of ranches, grazing ranches.
By who?
By the government.
The government should establish ranches for
herders.
These businessmen?
For herders.
Why?
Okay, they should also establish their ranches. But if government has a kind of ranch facilities for them, they take their livestock there to graze. And at the end of the period of grazing, when they are ready, they are mature enough to be sold into, they bring them to the open market.
Well, you know that this discussion brought a lot of conflict earlier when the government talked about it. That was recommended, talking about the open grazing now. Oh, let's in different states, let's have a portion for them so that they can stay there with their cattle instead of walking around the state. And state governors came out to say they're not giving their lands to these people.
Then they should establish their ranches in their states.
But that recommendation has been made all this while.
But you cannot expect a southern governor or a governor from the east, where we know that land has always been a challenge to us. We've not even had enough for ourselves. They will now give to people to establish ranches for their selfish.
I think their fear was actually insecurity.
Of course, they should do it within their place.
And you know how these people can expand within a short period of time. They don't travel without their family members. When I say family, I mean extended family members. So they bring everybody, and before you know it, they start expanding.
They should
and that was their fear.
They should have ranches in the corners and
That's
states.
what I'm saying. That these recommendations of them having their own ranches have been made over and over again.
But the northern governors,
still the problem.
But the northern governors are resisting it.
No, we haven't heard northern governors resisting that.
Then they should have it in their place because they are the ones who have more of the cattle. The operation comes, we hardly breed there except those ones that are coming. But otherwise, they should just establish their their ranches by this and graze within their area. Bring to us, we'll buy.
Do you think there's more reason? There's more behind the reason they keep coming here, aside just looking for greener pastures for their cattle?
For me, it's beyond greener pastures for their cattle.
Then what exactly are we looking at here?
Here, I think they have a hidden agenda. They have a hidden agenda. And it's crystal clear, it's quite glaring that there's a hidden agenda.
So if you say they have a hidden agenda and then you just say, get your lands in your communities and graze there, do you think they would want to do that when they actually, like you've said, are coming here for a reason?
If you go to a place and you're not welcome, you don't force yourself.
Depends on your agenda of going there.
These are the issues. So if you are not welcome in a place, you have to leave. But if you insist, then you are fanning the embers of discord. You have a hidden agenda. It's like me coming to your house. I'm not welcome, and I insist I must stay. There's an issue.
So you're suggesting southern governors or governors from other states should tell them to leave? These are, remember, these are also Nigerians, and we have the right to be in any state we want to be as long as we're Nigerians.
Granted, there's freedom of movement. There are laws also hindering freedom of movement. We have freedom of speech, but I cannot come to air and say certain things about you which are unfounded. So that's the same thing with freedom of movement. If your movement can cause breach to public peace, if it's a security threat, you can be asked to leave.
All right, let's see how that goes. Although we've heard stories of some governors telling these people to leave their states, and they made sure of it. They made sure that these people actually left their states. But how long can that really be? Other states, we just have the governors complaining. And sometimes you ask questions like, does it mean that this governor doesn't have the power to do anything about this situation? Why do we usually complain about it like nothing can be done?
Yes, most of these governors, their powers are limited.
Concerning farmers, concerning headers?
You know, you can make a pronouncement, but it takes enforcement of such pronouncement. The security agencies, they are doing little or nothing because they are their brothers. We must be frank, we must be sincere to ourselves. As a governor, you can make a proclamation, but you are not the one to enforce it. And your people who are not armed cannot also enforce. It's the security agencies that will enforce it. So are they carrying out that enforcement? What have they done in the light of the foregoing to make sure that such orders are carried out?
What laws? What?